Welcome back to the channel, buddy, and I hope you're doing fine. Now, today we're gonna have another Showdown podcast episode, and we're gonna talk about the update 2.2 survey results. They shared it a couple days ago, they showed the data, and I would say we go through this, analyze this, and then maybe discuss a little bit what do we think about that. As always, drop in the comment sections your 2 cents, what you think about all of this. Alright, before we start, I would like to say that I find this pretty amazing that they're sharing the data with us. Not a lot of companies would do that, so it's nice to see what the community thinks, right? And now, let's dive into it. Alrighty, update 2.2, update survey results. Hunters, we rely on your feedback with every update, and the main way we take action on changes based on community response is through feedback submitted to us via our surveys. So keep in mind, do them when they offer them, and yes, I'm fully aware, sometimes they open these surveys only for a couple days. And when they release the survey, they never tell us when the end date is for them. So this would be already my first feedback with the surveys. Please tell us how long the survey is open, because I did miss 1 or 2 because they were just open for like 2 or 3 days, which is pretty crazy. It's through feedback submitted to us via our surveys. A big thanks to those of you that have participated in the surveys so far, and for those yet to take part, we encourage you to take the opportunity in future. Many of you have requested that we discuss the results of those surveys, so today we want to go over the responses that you shared after update 2.2. So let's do this. Let's dive into some of our key findings and the actions we are taking in response to your feedback future development survey. We conducted a survey that focused on future developments, and the main message we took from your response was the need to focus on performance and bugs. While some changes were already in the pipeline, survey results showed an overwhelming priority for UI improvements and bug fixing, so this has become our focus for throughout 2025. Okay. Now, here's the data. A couple things, maybe I should do something like this. A couple things that I would like to mention. They definitely knew that the user interface was an issue before the survey. No way you did not hear the community before that. And I agree with people that the user interface with bugs and performance currently is a big thorn in our side. Now, I don't dislike the way the user interface looks, to be completely honest with you. I got used to that, but we have now March. So we had like mid-August, September, October, November, December, January, February, and now we're already in March, so almost 8 months. And there's just stuff still not working or being inconsistent in the user interface. So they showed not much yet from an upcoming user interface, but I'm really looking forward to see what they can do then throughout 2025, although it's going very slowly. But what you're gonna do? So let's have a look at here. Development focus ranking breakdown, total response 18,730. Now, how do we read this graph? We have percentage of responses, and here we have the different chapters or different topics. Rank 1 most important, so the light blue is super important, the dark black is the least important. So I would say everything that is rank 1, 2, and 3 basically means do something about this, right? And when we check the UI improvements, we have like this 20, 30, over 50% just for the user interface. And I'd say this is justified. Fixing bugs, although lately we do not have that many game-breaking bugs. Like we did have game-breaking bugs like the reload bug and some other stuff. That was really rough, but still, let's work on this. I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer. Hunt service networking improvements. Yes, sometimes the servers are shitting the bed. I don't think I have a single stream when I stream Hunt Showdown where at the beginning of the match it tells me connection lost, do you want to reconnect, or dude, so this would be nice if that goes away. Now, a little bit more about the game though, and not bugs, UI and network improvements. Improving balanced matchmaking experience. So this is something that I see almost okay, every day is maybe an exaggeration, but I see this very often on Hunt Reddit and stuff like that, that the matchmaking is not working. First of all, I don't think that you will be able to make the perfect matchmaking. That does not exist. Matchmaking can always be cheesed. Always. The other issue that you have with Hunt Showdown is right now you, in my opinion, have only 2 paths that you can take. Path number 1 is you decide, okay, we want full lobbies, but they're not balanced, or we have balanced lobbies and they're not full. And the reason for that is that the player base from Hunt Showdown is simply not big enough, at least for now. There are other issues. What do you do when you have a 1-star player that groups up with a 6-star player, right? It can happen that you have a veteran introducing a new player to the game. You cannot make an average of 3-star then for this ranking, because the 6-star will just stomp everybody mercilessly. So you have to give that group a 4.5 or maybe even 5-star rating to keep it kind of balanced, but the 1-star would absolutely not have any fun with this at all. So, of course, there is still the option to just not have any matchmaking at all, as in Escape from Tarkov, for example. Maybe this is the way to go. I'm not 100% sure. I always say I would like to see a skill-based matchmaking in any game that I play, because first of all, stomping newbies is, well, only fun in the moment, but not good for the game. And the other case is Jobii, who has like 2 children and works 10 hours on his job and has maybe 1 or 2 hours of gaming in 3 days, should not go up against Kevin high on Adderall playing 20 hours a day. I am, as always, a little bit exaggerating here to get my point across. The next thing is that I see a lot of people, oh, I go up against Prestige 100 people, and this should not be the case. Well, first of all, Prestige means absolutely fucking nothing for how good you are at the game. Dennis, the lead designer from Crytek, is Prestige level 1. Joe has thousands of hours, he's Prestige level 3. I have the gaming hours for probably being Prestige 500, and I'm 69 because funny number. So, yes, sure, somebody who is Prestige 100 definitely has experience, don't get me wrong. But there are people out there that are Prestige 100 and they're trash at the game. I'm sorry if I hit now any vulnerable spots there, but that's just how it is. You can play a lot and still be bad at something. So I do not think there will ever be a solution to the perfect matchmaking. The way it works right now, though, we need to find a balance between full matches and fair matches. Because, well, 2 and 3 stars should not go up against 6-star players. That's just how it is. At the end of the day, Crytek has, of course, a little bit more data than what they showed here, I assume. So you kind of have to pick your poison. Do we make balanced matches and then the lobbies are full and players might quit because the matches are boring? Or do we make full matches that are not balanced and then people quit because they get stomped? So this is a very difficult decision, and I'm looking forward what they're gonna do. We have better prestige rewards. Yeah, okay, I personally think, and there's also a big block right there with 19.27%, that the prestige system for me, it kind of died. I don't care about this anymore. They made some improvements, well, for the progression, which is not really the prestige system. So it is what it is. No, that's not fair. That's not fair. Actually, they did improve the prestige rewards. We have like new hunters that you unlock with the prestige system that you need to level up then. For example, if you want to have the bushwookie skins, I think you need to unlock the recruits at prestige 3 and then you have to level them up to survivor and veteran. Also some new skins at 60 something and 70 something prestige level. So no, they did improve it, but I think right now this is one of the low priority things for the game. Improvements to existing game modes. Now, it's funny that they say improvements to existing game modes and not adding new game modes. I do think that you cannot make more game modes for the game. This will absolutely kill it. You're splitting the player base even more, which means you have less people in the single game modes for the matchmaking to work with. And I personally think, this is not me leaking stuff right now, Bounty Clash is only during the weekend right now, so you have more people in Bounty Hunt, so the matchmaking can actually do a little bit better. But this is just me with a tin foil hat, so I'm not 100% sure if that is actually the reason. The improvement to existing game modes, I think this is not super important. Weapon balance, this is kind of interesting that a lot of people say this is not that important. So rank 6, 7, 8, this is over half of the community. Because there are a few things that, well, it's only specific guns for me, like the Crack Silencer, for example. I think what's important here is that you have to look at other games from time to time and check how good the balance for their guns is. And most of the time, you have clear meta guns, and the moment you pick anything else, you are at a huge disadvantage. right? In Hunt, you can still take a Ranger or Infantry or Marathon, and you can still win. So that is nice. So maybe just adjust stuff like the Crack Silencer. Maybe the Maynard Sniper Silencer with Bleed 2, and then we move on. Hunt dollar economy balancing. Which economy? This is difficult because people who play a lot and they are decent at the game, they have like hundreds of thousands of Hunt dollars. Balancing by money adjustments does work, but it's something that you should not do. This should be your last resort. The reason for that is, if you make the uppercut more expensive or make the dolt more expensive, people who have already a lot of money, they don't care. So the people that you affect with this change are people who struggle already with the game, right? So you're hitting people that already doing not that great. So yeah, it kind of works, because whenever you increase the money, for example, they increase the money for the Officer Carbine, and you see it way less in the Bayou then. So it does work, but you're hitting the wrong audience, in my opinion. Okay, so we have this year development focus, ranking, breakdown. So user interface, we have bugs and server networking, and then it drastically drops for the other stuff. Let's go to the next one, performance. As you can see in the graph below, there was an increase in the game's performance and how it ran from the community's point of view. We are pleased to see a positive trend here, but we have tons more coming down the line this year to keep pushing performance forward. Alright, now let's have a look at this. This is Scorched Earth. This is Harvest of Ghosts. And this is Murder Circus. I find this interesting. We have like 15,000 votes here. We have 4,600 here, and we have over 18,000. But yeah, you can see an upwards trend, especially with good and very good. I have to check when Harvest of Ghosts was exactly. Because Murder Circus was not around, well, obviously, around 2.0, and I have to say, during 2.0 release, the performance of the game was just freaking bad. I'm sorry, it was trash. Okay, you had the map freeze bug. Well, okay, it's a bug and not performance. But you had rubber banding all over the place, game crashing. It was horrible. So I have to admit that it is going up. That is true. I think I did something over here. I voted for these two, or one of the two. Okay, let's not discuss this too long because performance is kind of obvious. We have gameplay. Our team put a lot of effort into this update, and we were pleased to see that many of the gameplay additions were well received. Here are some of the results. First up is all about the circus compound, as well as the new items in and around it. Overall, the compound, the possible locations, grunts, and the activities all scored well, and we will keep this in mind for future events. Okay, so we have the bleeding twigs. So red, very dissatisfied, and green is very satisfied. Yeah, the bleeding twigs, they were for me personally kind of whatever. I stepped on them occasionally. Yeah, it was annoying, but that did not have like massive impact on my gameplay. So I'm surprised that there's actually, out of all the stuff that they showed here, the thing that was the worst received. But okay, the clown grunts. The clown grunts I'm actually okay with, because the event itself, the fluff of it, it's not the legendary hunters that look like clowns. The clown grunts, this is what we talk about here. That is fine. They were kind of cool, the creepy laugh. I also loved it that some of them were dropping throwing knives. So maybe we can do a little bit more in that direction when you kill certain AI, that they drop maybe a little bit of ammo or other stuff. That would be kind of cool. But people really like those clowns. Then we have the size of the compound. I think the size of the compound was great. Keep in mind you're kind of limited where you put that thing, obviously, because you need a lot of open and also a lot of open and flat space. Next is the activities within the compound, fortune teller, balloon shop, etc. That was cool. Nothing to complain there. The variety that you had there, you had like the ammo boxes, you had the dark side boost, the fortune teller and the balloons. You had the shredder in the middle. Well, before it cost 9 pledge marks and then nobody bought it anymore. Now, the compound design and the layout is something that I actually did not like too much. The reason for that is that certain loadouts get absolutely effing wrecked. The moment you play with incendiary and poison rounds, you can't shoot through anything over there, which is fine. But regular ammo just goes like a hot knife through butter. I mean, sure, it's only cloth, right? But maybe when we do other compounds in the future, other event compounds, make not the whole thing out of cloth, so people with dual-wielding FMJ just shoot through the whole tent and try to guess where you are. And somebody who is playing incendiary rounds and poison rounds is completely effed. Especially on top of that, the hitboxes were not super clean. So I have footage where my incendiary rounds got caught mid-air. And there was nothing there. I have also footage where I tried to toss an explosive through the top of the tent. The top of the tent is open, but at the same time it's not, because your explosives bounced back. So Crytek normally is really good when it comes to hitboxes, but for the tent it felt kind of rushed, and in a few places it was like, what I see does not match what's happening. And a number of possible locations, I think this is fine. There's only one location where I think they kind of effed up, and that is the southwest location on Mammoth's Gulch, where you have the rocks basically northeast and the south, and even a little bit of an elevated forest on the west. So the moment you're in the tent, everybody can shoot at you from everywhere. This has to be on even ground. All the other compounds, at least right now, I can't think of anything else, were great. But that one, the one northeast from Preston Oil is not good. So maybe remove that one or rework that or place it somewhere else, because that was not fun to play over there. Next one, overall, how would you rate your experience with the Murder Circus compound? Yeah, I think people liked it. People liked it. So we have here a combined over 80% for satisfied and very satisfied, so they did a good job with this one. Then we have the dark side boost changes. What do we have here? For the dark side boost changes, we were pleased to see that the majority of you were satisfied or very satisfied with these. I have no idea who you are here. Like, what's going on here? Very dissatisfied and dissatisfied? How? How? You liked it when you were looking for clues while having the bounty and it drained the dark side boost seconds? Or when you had to do a necromancer move and it drained all your dark side boost? That's what you enjoyed? I have no idea how this can be bad. I think that there are a few people out there who took the survey and, because out of rage and blind hate, clicked on very dissatisfied on everything. Just as a form of childish protest. Protesting is fine, by the way, guys, alright? But here, this survey data, they need it to decide what they need to work on. So if you make a joke out of this, or just rage vote, then this will not work, okay? But at least it's just 1% and 3%, so I think you can just ignore this, as mean as it sounds. Weekly challenges, oh now it might get interesting. Weekly challenges, in update 2.2 we introduced some new weekly challenges for the event, and the results showed that some players felt frustrated with how they influenced weapon usage, sometimes leading to an unbalanced meta for extended periods as well as feeling repetitive. Yeah, no fucking shit. I'm preaching this for months. So, like, since they implemented the weekly challenges, this is garbage. I sound now very rude, okay? The thing that triggers me right here is this can't be that it takes so long to fix this. And we have a few things here that we need to discuss. It forced certain loadouts to be overly present in matches. Yeah. Dude, the weekly challenge is long ammo, setting people on fire, and maybe even use incendiary ammo. People were all running Silence Crack with incendiary ammo, and it was horrible. The first 2 days when a new weekly challenge comes out, you have this everywhere. It's not fun to play. The variety of enemy loadouts goes down the drain, at least in my lobbies. Always keep in mind, I might have a different experience than you. So yeah, please change this. Make it random. I don't care. Also, you call them challenges. How is a crack a challenge? How is long ammo a challenge? Call them missions or whatnot, but let people play a Nagant Precision. Or base Nagant. That would be a challenge. And then you would see some guns that you normally don't see in the bio. But okay. Interesting is 9% say other, which is the second block here. Okay. Felt repetitive when comparing different weekly sets. Yeah, not completely wrong. I don't know how easily Crytek can track what you're doing in-game, so they might be limited what kind of challenges they can do for us. But this is a fair point. It forced me to change my playstyle too much. I mean, it's a challenge. Nobody forces you to do them. They're just free BBs and for you something to do. So I do not understand this point completely. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Otherwise, then apparently it seems to be a challenge for you. So the weekly challenge is doing its job. So maybe somebody can explain to me in the comment section why this is such a bother actually, because it's pretty high up there. Challenges felt unrewarding. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, what would you expect as a reward? They will not give us more BBs because they already removed the BBs from the allocate cards. From the cards at the mission summary screen. I can't remember exactly what they were named. So they will not give us more BBs. I was already surprised that we saw 10 BBs for a weekly, but hey. Felt too easy to complete, and then we have requirements are set too high. Fine. These guys are saying this is way too easy. These guys are saying this is way too hard. They're right next to each other. Yeah, this is... yeah, okay. There are a few that are probably a little bit harder to complete. We have right now one of the weekly challenges, do 3 clean sweeps. Find the boss, kill the boss, extract the fit, blah, blah, blah. And that, I think, is something true casuals that play maybe only a few hours a week might struggle with. So I can see them click this for that one, but everybody else will be here. 2 PvP focus, player versus player. This sounds mean again. We're gonna ignore this because, well, you play a PvP game. That's it. All right. And there are, in my opinion, a lot of things in the weekly, like kill grunts, kill AI with fire damage. I think a third or something like that of the weeklies is actually AI based or like against PvE. So, okay, none of above and 2 PvE focus, player versus AI. Okay. Too easy, too hard, too much PvP, too little. But honestly, we have like 5, 3, 2, 1, so I don't know how much you need to care about this. I think it plays up here, and especially this one here. This is the main thing. Address this. I mean, they will now probably, so thumbs up for that one. In update 2.3, we have announced that we will be introducing a randomized set of weekly challenges for each player. Oh, heavenly chorus playing in the background. Sweet. Love it. This will do good for the game. With this change, we hope to encourage more diverse weapon choices and matches as players tackle a variety of different challenges. Sweet! Event weapons. When we asked your opinions on event weapons, we saw that different variations of the same weapon had varying results. In the graphs below, you can see community preferences, and some of the results showed that some of the 2.2 event weapons did not have the impact we hoped for. Okay, so overall, how would you rate your experience with the following event equipment, additions, variations? Percentage of responses, red, very dissatisfied, and green, again, very satisfied. So, the Chukunu. Okay, I have an issue with this whole thing. Because we don't know why people are satisfied or are very dissatisfied. And that, in my opinion, is an issue. Because you can be dissatisfied because the weapon is trash. You can also be dissatisfied because it's not fun to play against it. And we don't see this here. For example, the Chukunu, right here, during the event, Blade Mancer, and explosive bolts can be quite annoying. Okay, Blade Mancer does not work with the explosive bolts, but you know, you normally play it with the Blade Mancer with the regular bolts, and when you have the explosive, you just go all out. A question for my viewers. How often did you see the Chukunu after the event? I literally didn't see it a single time. Not once. The issue is that you need Blade Mancer for the regular Chukunu to make it work and to be somewhat, you know, not empty after like a minute of PvP. So the weapon, in my opinion, is trash right now. Without Blade Mancer, not worth it, and the explosive Chukunu is Yeah, I didn't even see that one. So are people not satisfied with the Chukunu because the weapon is weak or because they got blown up by the explosive bolts a couple too many times? The data does not show this. So, yeah. Maybe add questions. Did you like playing against it? Did you like playing it? Then you get a little bit more interesting data. But yeah, Chukunu is the big loser here. And then we have the recovery shot, which is good. I mean, I'm preaching for more stuff to get bars back beside the banish, I don't know, 4 or 5 years or something like that. So I'm happy that we introduced the recovery shot. In my opinion, the recovery shot is crazy expensive. Yes, sure, it's good, but sometimes you need 2 or 3. And then, yeah, you win the round and you made absolutely no money. That is maybe not ideal. I still would like to see more in-game mechanics to get bars back instead of in consumable. But okay, I'm happy they added it. And so are still a lot of people from the community. Sparks pistol side variant, I think this is a winner. I don't think it is too strong. It can be quite annoying. 149 damage. Suppressed. But honestly, I don't see it very much right now. The next one is the Crack Silencer variant. Yeah, that one performs. They're satisfied and very satisfied. I know why, because the gun is fucking strong. Here's always the issue when it comes to balancing. People like strong stuff. People like strong guns. What a surprise, am I right? But is it good for the game? Sometimes you must take a step back. Put your own interest aside and look at the big picture. And the Crack Silencer was a mistake. The end. I will die on this hill. I don't care about these 2 bars here. Crack Silencer was not good for this game. That thing needs to be nerfed in my opinion. Yes, people had fun with that. And yes, dude, I played it too. But that thing is crazy strong. Very dissatisfied are probably people who got shot out of bushes. Alright, then we have the Carbine Aperture. Another gun that I basically do not see right now. Which is crazy because the Aperture... yeah, there we go. The Aperture, you flip down the Aperture sights and you have some really good iron sights. Because the moment you flip down the iron sights from the Aperture, you have better iron sights than the base Carbine. So... of course, this is not the intended use for the weapon because, well, you want to use the Aperture. But I think when it comes to Aperture scopes, people are always like, yeah, kind of whatever. You have a few people who absolutely love them, and the majority of the community is like, Aperture scopes? What's that? Maynard Sniper Silencer variant. Ooh, yeah, that thing's annoying. We have it in the game right now. I think giving silencers a sniper scope was a mistake. I still think this is the bigger issue, the Crack Silencer, but the Maynard Sniper, you can terrorize people for days with that. And it has bleed rounds. During the event, it was crazy strong because with Crack Shot you could hip fire that thing very reliably, and then the first or second bleed tick killed people. So you had a suppressed sniper / shotgun. For not a lot of buck, by the way. I think that thing costs 150, 180, and then another 20 to 30 for the bleed bullets each. So it's very cheap and very good. So I do understand this. It's not fun getting harassed by a Maynard Sniper Silencer with bleed ammo. It's not. Source, I'm the guy shooting people. Okay, the next one. While players like the idea of weapons being obtainable in a mission, we also recognize that the Shredder didn't meet player expectations for balance. Both the frag blade and the homing mechanic of the regular saw blades were 2 major pain points from the community, and we agree with this. We released a mid-event balance change to the Shredder, and while this improved some aspects of gameplay, it failed to address the primary concerns of our players, and the increased cost resulted in players seeking out the Shredder less overall. You can see this demonstrated in the graphs below. But first of all, the frag blades were absolutely fucking broken. Made a video about that. You cannot justify this, okay? Explodes close to you, very fast rate of fire, and you just disappear. Not fun. So, how do you feel about the Shredder only being obtainable within a mission? I think this is really cool. I would like to have more event weapons that you can only get in the mission. Next, overall, how was your experience with the Shredder? Would you look at that? At launch, very dissatisfied. Those were the people that got blown up. And after balance adjustment, almost the same amount because people couldn't afford it anymore. For me personally, Crytek balances always a little bit over the top. They balance with a sledgehammer approach. And I sound like a broken record. You can actually do this when you're fast with dialing back when you went overboard. And Crytek is not fast at patching. I give them credit though, and I said this already multiple times. Crytek, you did a good job with the last event when it came to hotfixes. At least you did something, right? Shredder getting nerfed a couple weeks in. Blade Mancer pullout damage got nerfed a couple weeks in. Did not expect that. Did not expect it. Because those were balance patches and not because something was broken. I think only once when Death Cheat was broken, they actually patched something mid-event. And I'm fully aware that patches can break something and patches cost money. I get that, but when people just stop playing your game, in the long run, you will lose more money when you have nobody playing your game anymore. Okay, so the Shredder, I think, was a very interesting first try of making event weapons, and nerfing the Frag Blade was the only thing that was necessary. Everything else would have been fine. So these graphs, funny enough, there's not much difference. It actually got worse after the balance adjustments because people could not play it anymore. 9 pledge marks is quite a lot for the average Showdown player. Why were you not satisfied with the Shredder after the balance adjustments? Too expensive to buy. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah. 5 pledge marks is something that you can easily get in a round. 9 is something I only got when I looted players and they had pledge marks in their pockets. I'm surprised that other is 16%, and I don't think there's an explanation anywhere what is in this bar. Frag Blade too strong, I understand, too weak to use. Wow, guys. Why isn't Crytek listening more to the community? Well, people are saying too strong and too weak to use. Right next to each other with basically the same amount of votes. Or am I misunderstanding here something? Too weak to use. Frag Blade too strong. Wow. Too weak to use. Saw Blade too strong. Okay. Too easy to land shots on targets. Too hard to... Okay. Yeah, alright. So, let's move on. So I think the only issue were the Frag Blades, and then afterwards too expensive to buy. So this right here, I understand. Okay, next. Event traits. The Trick Shooter troop saw the highest positive reaction, while the Mystic troop saw the lowest. Yeah, what a surprise. Okay, then what do we have here? How would you rate your experience with the following troops? Trick Shooter, wow, okay. Ringmaster and Mystic. So, Trick Shooter was Blade Mancer and Crackshot. Ringmaster was Corpseer and Mystic was Blast Sense and Poltergeist. Ah, and Shadow Crush. Shadow Crush. Okay. So I think Ringmaster was sweet spot. That's how event traits should be. They give you an advantage, but it's not absolutely bonkers. Trick Shooter is with Crackshot for dual wielding, levering, hipfire in general, fanning, dude. And Blade Mancer is just a no-brainer. I hope that will come back in a balanced way. And Mystic, yeah, that was just too weak. The end. But it's fun to annoy people with Poltergeist. I get it. But the majority of the player base would like to have something that helps them a bit more in combat. The Mystic traits were perceived this weekend more situational compared to the traits provided in other troops. We have taken note of this and will be adjusting these traits to deliver a better player experience for upcoming events. Okay, so Crackshot number 1, Blade Mancer number 1. Yeah, these two, and both in the same event trait path. Shadow Crush and Corpseer, Blast Sense and Poltergeist. The thing with Blast Sense is it's absolutely useless. Why do I need Blast Sense? I can hear it anyway, and I can hear from where they're shooting. You could buff blast sense by letting people see explosions from, well, explosions, like the visual effect, from both silencers and crossbows. Because they do not show up with blast sense. So the annoying Maynard sniper silencer shooting at you will not show up when you use blast sense. But maybe people, or maybe one in a trio, would take blast sense then for this one annoying sniper with the suppressor to see from where he's shooting exactly. Just an idea. And Poltergeist was a meme. Okay, it was fun. And yes, there were some very, very specific and niche options where Poltergeist was actually strong. For example, when you played a team with 12 beetles, with pain sense, so you could see them while flying around in the beetle, and when people tried to close the window to be safe from the beetle, you could actually open the window with the beetle, with Poltergeist, fly in and bombard the guy with your beetles. I'm mentioning this right now because I know people will have, but actually, Mike, when the sun aligns with 5,000 stars, then we have a moment where Poltergeist is actually strong. Yeah, every time I pull the trigger and I have fanning and I have crackshot, I get value. So yeah, fun trade, absolutely freaking useless, good trade. And what I like about Corpse here is that you actually have a drawback. Because you can see it now on the map when somebody gained a dark side boost. So other people will know where the fighting is exactly. They know where something might be for them to loot. And you reveal your position. But you get a second of dark side, so you can actually spot enemies. So it's good. Shadow Crush is nice. And now, kind of funny. When you play a crack silencer, you don't have enough ammo, for example, to shoot any kennel, horse, AI that you see. So you can save money for the crack silencer by killing at least the AI with Shadow Crush. So you don't need to bring a spear, throwing knives, throwing axes, or anything like that. And you can just do other tools, which is nice. And Blademancer and Crackshot are just no-brainers. So yeah. Let's see. This one needs a buff. If they bring back Blademancer, Blast Sense, this needs a buff. Blademancer does not need a buff. Why were you not satisfied with the Mystic Troop? Traits were too powerful compared to other event traits. Okay. Traits were too weak compared to other event traits. Yeah, that's the one. Traits were too situational to use reliably. Yes. Traits did not support my playstyle. Okay. Traits were clunky to use in a fight. Okay, and yeah, so. But it's just this. Too weak and super situational. While the other traits just straight up gave you reliable value. Kill trade experiences. We recently discussed changes to kill trade windows that were implemented late last year, and our telemetry data showed an overall decrease in trades. So we want to verify if this aligned with player perception, so we report you during the 2.2 event survey. It was encouraging to see the results confirm players noticed this reduction. Yep, absolutely. I have the same experience. So right now, this is bad and this is good. So the light gray means almost none of my matches. What I experienced before, I kill somebody, they are on the floor, dead, and then they shoot me and I die. Trading is okay the moment both players pull the trigger, because, well, the bullets don't disappear normally. So that is fine. But the moment somebody's on the floor and dead, but they have a high ping, and due to that, they can still kill me, that was annoying. And not once in hundreds of hours of playing with this change, I had this case. However, when I play now on NA servers, when I played, for example, with Nino during Twitch drops, yeah, I shot people, and I check my recording frame for frame, I shoot them in the face, I see the blood splatter, but they kill me, and my shot just vanishes. So this is exactly the other extreme that I was talking about when it comes to kill trading. That, yeah, you either have people shooting you from their grave, or you will have ghost bullets. I like it the way it is now more. Maybe look for a space in between for the sweet spot, right? And on the other hand, honestly, when I play on NA with a higher ping, I think my ping is 120 or 130, I should not have an advantage. The end. This feels weird. But okay, because on European servers, I do not have this issue. We're continuing to monitor kill traits and windows as we refine key elements of gameplay, and we may include this question again in future surveys. Closing thoughts. We deeply appreciate your participation. Our service and the feedback you share plays a crucial role in shaping future updates. We are committed to making meaningful improvements based on what we learn from the community, and we will share more results with you in the future. This is highly appreciated, by the way. Thank you for being part of our journey. See you in the Bio Hunters. I have one more thing. When it comes to where do we have this with the traits? Yeah, let's take this one. Doesn't really fit perfectly with what you're gonna do. When it comes to traits, you can see that a lot of people liked stuff like Blade Mancer and Crackshot. There's one thing that I would like to see in the questions here, or maybe in general. It doesn't fit anywhere, but this is something that I would like to have in future surveys, because I can enjoy something, but I don't want to ever see it again. And Crackshot is one of these things. Crackshot, when I had it, it was nice. I played it a lot, not gonna lie, not gonna be a hypocrite, but it's not good for the game. Crackshot just should not come back, ever. Dual wielding, levering, fanning. It's already bad when you die to it at first bullet headshot 40 plus meters, and Crackshot makes it even easier. Or Crackshot does not work with this. But even then, you have gun balancing and there is sway for snipers and other stuff at long range to be a little bit disarmed, and then you have Crackshot and kind of... So yeah, Crackshot is one of the traits that I enjoyed while playing. I hated going up against it, and I think it should never come back. And there's nowhere an option to explain this. Ask people, would you like to see the trait to come back? That would be interesting. That would be my only point of feedback for improving the survey here. I had another one at the beginning, but whatever. And with that, don't forget, if you like these podcast videos, it would be very nice if you drop a like to please the YouTube algorithm gods. That would be much appreciated. We keep doing these podcast episodes because I think they're fun. Alright, and with that, let's roll the outro. Alright, that's it for today. Don't forget to put your 2 cents in the comment section below. I read most of them, but during these patch notes and balance videos, it's a little bit difficult to read everything. Okay, and then as always, kaboom, my patrons. Thank you very much for supporting me over on Patreon. You guys are, as always, one of a kind, and I thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Let's see how update 2.3 will feel. We have no date for that yet, though. I see you in the next one. Until then, have a good day, and bye-bye.